August this year, millions of Kenyans will vote in what has been touted as the mother of all elections for Kenyan voters. A record 47 independent registered on May the 2nd to contest the presidency. Incumbent President Uhuru Kenyatta of the Jubilee Party will go head-to-head against his deputy William Ruto of the United Democratic Alliance and veteran Raila Odinga of the Orange Democratic Movement. Already, discussions about the election are big items on social media platforms such as Twitter, Facebook, and TikTok. And fear is that there might be amplifying disinformation of the sort that led to massive violence between 2007 and 2008. Well, joining us now to give us a fuller picture of how access to information will play out in the elections is lawyer and political commentator Shadrack Wambui. Shadrack, good evening. Good to have you with us. As you said, Hakuna Matata. I hope all is well.
Yes, good evening. Good evening, my brother. In Kenya, Hakuna Matata, and I'm glad to be here. To our viewers and to our listeners, Jambo.
Much appreciated. Well, when we look at some of the reporting currently, we are hearing of reports that in Kenya right now, social media has turned into a powerful new battleground in the electoral politics. To what extent is social media being misused in Kenya's political arena right now?
Well, my brother, we thank God that we are in the political season. What we've been experiencing or seeing in the recent past is, or rather, serious political alignments that we have been experiencing. Of course, due to our new constitutional dispensation, that the 2010 constitution, we are seeing increased political activities, especially from the electorates themselves. People are coming out boldly and speaking about the 4th day of August 2022. We are seeing what previously to be people had hoped that different camps, but some Kamba political leader who has now joined the Kenya Kwanza. And perhaps just to put our viewers into context, in Kenya we are having two horse races. This is the Kenya Kwanza, which you can otherwise call bringing Kenya first, and you're also seeing the Azimio One Kenya Alliance, which is a demonstration of perhaps the unity that this country should have. The Azimio One Kenya Alliance is being led by the Right Honorable Raila Odinga, a veteran politician in this country. Of the years, he's been the president for the past 30 years, and perhaps some of the people who believe in his vision are very optimistic that come the 9th day of August 2022, that he is going to clinch the presidential ticket, or rather become the 5th president of the Republic of Kenya. On the other hand, we are seeing the deputy of the current president of the Republic of Kenya. This is Dr. Samoei William Ruto, who has come out very strongly to hope and to that come the 9th day of August 2022, he's going to inherit the position that his boss is currently occupying. So there is a lot of optimism, there is a lot of talk, but most fundamentally, it's a good time for our constitutional democracy, now that we are experiencing a sense of a rebirth in the voicing of the concerns of the people. People are being engaged. We have seen so many forums where Kenyans are being involved by the current political leaders, which is not something that we have known in the recent past.
Okay.
So not so long ago, we saw, or we've been seeing or experiencing leaders sitting in barazas, what is otherwise called meetings, town hall meetings, getting to understand the problems, the real problems that the common mwananchi is facing in our country.
Now, so traditionally political debates, you're saying, would be held in these meetings, but also would be seen mainly or shaped at least by mainstream media, your radio, your newspapers, and by and large television. Are you seeing a drastic change in how these political debates are being handled today?
What we can say, and to be very fair to Kenyans, is that due to the increased social media space, of course, with the embracing of Facebook, Instagram, we have also seen Twitter. There is a lot of activity going on there. And this tells us that Kenyans are taking seriously their freedom of expression. And again, on the other hand, it tells us that even our leaders have come to appreciate the power of social media as a tool in their campaign. And perhaps not so long ago, on the first day of May 2022, when we were celebrating the Labor Day in our Republic of Kenya, where we had, the president run to the podium and, claim that he has failed or rather experienced some challenges during his leadership because of the clear or the unequivocal absence of his deputy. We saw in a fashion that is now becoming very familiar, his deputy president going on his Twitter handle and responding or replying to the accusations that his boss had levied against him. So, and we have seen some of his supporters coming out clearly in large numbers and responding or rather tweeting against the sentiments that the president had mentioned. So this in a sense is telling us that Kenyans are taking seriously these social media spaces. It has become, we have seen our politicians, pay up the persons we are calling influencers,
yes,
so that they can steer some debate, they can influence some discussion,
right?
So that moving forward, we are seeing a situation where if people who are pro Raila Amolo Odinga, people who are pro Dr. William Samoei Ruto, getting very deep discussions and expressing themselves and their views on our social media platforms, which is a good thing.
Yeah. Is the debate still strongly tied to ethnic factionalism and maybe class interests, or is the conversation different? What's the messaging that these influencers are bringing on?
But you will realize that the Kenyan population, as far as the recent census is concerned, what is quite evident is that most, or if not all, the voters will be young people between the age bracket of 18 and 35 years. So the discussion that we are having is no longer about our ethnic extractions. No. Remember, in what has not been seen in the past, we are seeing the president, Uhuru Kenyatta, His Excellency, teaming up or joining hands with Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga, who has been known over the years to be his political enemy. It will remember, historically speaking, that Uhuru Muigai's father, the late and deceased, the founding father of this country, Mzee Jomo Kenyatta, had his deep differences with the father of the Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga. This is Oginga Odinga. Now, this will tell us that we are experiencing a change. Now, with the unity Kikuyu chief, or rather the Kikuyu Supremo, and with the unity of the Luo Supremo, then the discussion is no longer about tribes. No. So this will tell you that we have changed matrix of the year 2022, and it will not be similar to those narratives that were being propagated or sold in the past.
Yeah.
What we are likely to see, and this is what we are seeing in Kenya right now. This is we are seeing the politics of the day being shaped around youths, around women, around people with disability, around perhaps the elderly in our society, so that the vote basket is seen to be from the young men and the young women in our country, and that is why there has been a lot of focus. Just concluded party, we have seen very young people being nominated and being for parties, and we elected come the 9th day. of August 2022. And this we have seen met because we have 47 counties in this country. We have seen in almost all are taking up leadership position, so that come the 9th day of August 2022, the politics of Kenya, and perhaps this is moving forward, will be centered around issues, especially issues touching on young men, issues about unemployment, the increased unemployment rate in this country, will be issues concerning the welfare, the welfare of young men. Young men are not even able to afford, especially the health insurance that is at minimum rates. So discussion that we will see, perhaps as we near the general election set on the 9th day of August 2022.
Right. Using these kinds of tools
to be alive in this country.
Yeah, I'm saying using these kinds of tools then, social media, influencers, as you put it, do you think these would have an impact on the outcome of the election? Will they influence in any way what is going to come out of these elections?
Yes, perhaps. We need to be fair to ourselves that the increased activity on social media, the centering of issues around what aches the young and the young men and the young women of the Republic of Kenya. These are issues that are going to change the political narrative. These are things that are going to influence the election come the 9th day of August 2022. And this is largely to be informed by the large numbers of the young men in this country who have taken to social media to express themselves. Nowadays, the usual mainstream media is not very popular in this country. So that if anything is happening, perhaps in my house or somewhere else, the information is likely to spread very fast like wildfire because of the use of social media, which has been adopted by the people, the young men who form the large population in this country. So we expect in the fullness of time that the young men and what they are discussing on the social media, call it TikTok, call it Twitter, call it Facebook and Instagram, those are going to affect the polls come the August general election.
All right. Now, from a legal point of view, what is the licensing regime that is currently in place as far as these influencers are concerned? Because another major problem that could come about with media influencers is that they have financial incentive to participate in these programs, and they could otherwise be persuaded to go into other practices, for example, practices of disinformation, unless there is some kind of licensing regime in most cases that is involved as far as political rhetoric is concerned.
Now, speaking very confidently as an advocate of the High Court of Kenya, now we do not have a specific licensing that controls what these media influencers or people who are discussing their issues on the media is concerned. No, far from it. But what is important to note is that in our constitution, which of course mirrors that of the South Africa, we have the freedom of expression. But even while people have the freedom of expression, the constitution recognizes or sets some internal limits so that you cannot express yourself in a manner that is going to instigate war or violence or spread propaganda. That is something that is forbidden by the Constitution. Again, if you allow me, is that we have the Cybercrime Act, that we control the excesses, the temptation that comes ordinarily with the use of social media and the inaccountability or unaccountability of persons who choose the social media space to express themselves. We have seen on a number of occasions people posturing themselves as the local politicians of the day, people who are taking images of some individuals and then perhaps matching the individual just to propaganda. Some politician has decamped from one camp and is supporting the other camp, and this is majorly meant to influence or change the perception of Kenyans at large. So by the use of cybercrime, the Cybercrime Act, and the active role of investigation has taken as far as his role is concerned with enforcing the Cybercrime Act. This tells us that we expect that in the fullness of time, people are going to be accountable on social media, to be responsible when they decide to use these social media platforms, so that in the event that you find yourself running into error or running into error or contravening the law as we know of it, then you are going to be charged before a competent court of law, and we expect that you will be brought to book. And perhaps even to add, we have seen not so long ago people who used wrongly the image of the president, and they were using it just to play around and to throw some jibes to the president and create a very bad image of the president, were taken into account, and they were arraigned before a competent court of law, and they took plea, and their cases are still ongoing. So this is to tell you that even with the freedom that comes with the use of social media, people can post whatever they think from the comfort of their rooms or their houses. There is still accountability, because the law, as we know of it, restrains or prevents us from spreading propaganda or insults to other individuals. So we do not have a dearth or scarcity of laws in this country that are supposed to govern that area of law.
Shadrack, appreciate your time, man. Thanks so much for coming on. Lawyer and political commentator there, Shadrack Wambui, painting a picture for us of how the political arena is currently being contested there in Kenya on the build-up to the elections in August.